Hello and welcome to another episode of EPMS Tech Talk. I'm Joanne LaFlamme.
I'm Chris Costa.
So Chris, what would you like to talk about today?
Well, I thought we could discuss maybe some of the steps that are involved with someone trying to use our accounting system, specifically as they try to transition on day one, their go live date. What do they need to do right before and as they go through that period?
Okay, great topic. So let's just kind of go over quickly the different steps that have to be done, and then we can take a look at them.
Sure.
So the first step would be to purge the test data out there that might be in there from training. So you go to your Purge utility and purge that data out. The second step would be to go into the general ledger module, and in the settings there you can turn off the integration because we're going to be putting in some transactions for opening balances and things, and we don't want the general ledger to be updated.
Right.
Then we'll need to go into each of the different modules, AR, AP, cash book, and general ledger, and enter the opening transactions. So for example, in AR, we have to enter all of the open invoices, open credits, anything that has an open balance.
Sure.
Same thing for AP. And for cash book, we would enter the starting bank balances for each bank account, as well as entering any checks or deposits that haven't been reconciled yet.
Right.
And then general ledger will simply be entering the opening balances for each account.
Good. Sounds good.
All right. So should we take a look?
Absolutely, yes.
All right, I'm going to open up Enterprise. And as I said, the first thing we need to do is purge out the test data that's in there. So under our Utilities menu, we have a Purge Records option. So I'm going to click on that. And it's under this Sample Data button. If we click on that button, what we'll want to do is click on each one of these buttons here for AR, AP, General Ledger, and Cash Book. I'm not going to do that now because I have some transactions I don't want to clean out. But by clicking on each one of these, that will clear out any transactions, test transactions that you might have done in that module. You definitely do not want to click on any of these. These would clear out master files and settings and things that you don't want to touch. So just these 4 buttons in this third column. Okay, so I'm going to exit out of that. The next thing we would want to do is go into General Ledger and go into the system settings. And then we'd want to make sure this AR, CAT integration, CB integration, AP integration, all of those are unchecked. And that's really important because, as I said, we're going to be entering some transactions here, and we don't want it to be updating the general ledger.
That's right. Okay. Good.
Okay.
All right. Well, maybe we can go into, start with accounts receivable, go in and look at how that might work.
Okay, sure.
Okay.
So let me cancel out of here. We'll close out of GL, and we'll go into AR. So there are already, in this database, we have a couple of batches set up with the opening balances, some sample like opening balances that you might have before you go live. And in AR, you may have transactions that are open for invoices, but you also may have some credits that are open for some of your customers. So you may have to create 2 batches, one for the invoices and one for the credits. So I'm going to start with the invoice batch, and I'm going to edit one of the invoices. So when you do these invoices for open balances, you really just need, it's really very simple. You just need some basic information. You need to select the customer. You need to add a line item with just the open balance, kind of just a total. You don't even have to put in a tax amount.
That's right. Yeah.
Just the open balance. Let's take a look at a couple of things you may want to set before you even do these transactions. I'm going to cancel out of here and go into the system settings here. What you can do is you can put in default sales code here temporarily just for while you're building these transactions. Normally you would probably leave this blank. The other thing you may want to do is if you're forcing a tax jurisdiction on all invoices, you may want to uncheck this just temporarily while we're doing these particular transactions. So now let's take a look at one of these invoices again. And we'll see we have a customer account selected. If I edit the line item, this is set to total. And if you select the total unit of measure, it'll automatically set your quantity ordered and shipped to 1. And then you can just put in simply the unit price. It'll calculate out to the extended price of whatever that open balance is. It'll bring in your default GL code, and that's it. So it's very quick and simple to enter.
So really then I can enter in to that total tax, freight, postage, just the include it all into that unit price.
Right, because all you're trying to do here is get that open balance on the customer account. We're not updating GL, that's already been done in your old system, so we don't need to hit the different accounts. You're going to put in an opening balance for each of those accounts that are going to have these transactions already in it.
Good. Okay.
Okay.
Makes sense.
Same thing with the credits. I'm going to edit the credit transaction, and again, it's just one line with the open credit amount. And again, it will bring in the sales code.
Okay.
Okay?
And then I presume then that we would just note the totals there of those batches and know that that's what we're expecting.
Right.
And then once we know that, we know we've got everything recorded and we're good to go.
Right, exactly.
Yeah.
You can take a look at either the total here of the entire batch to make sure it balances, or you can also print the audit trail if you'd like to see the detail.
Okay.
Okay? All right, let's take a look at AP. Kind of the same thing on the AP side. You'll have a batch of your open invoices. And again, it's just going to have your expense code, total, and then the total amount. Notice though here on the AP side, if you do have a credit, you can put in a negative invoice. This is unique to AP. So you just need the one batch with the negative amount for any credit balances.
Okay, that's good.
Okay.
Simple there, so AP can just be all done in one batch.
In one batch.
Makes it easy, yeah.
Right, and then you can again look at the total, make sure it balances.
Good.
Okay.
Okay.
Now let's go to cash book. With cash book, you'll want to go into your bank accounts and put in the starting opening balance here for each account. Then what you'll want to do is for any payments, deposits that have not been reconciled yet, you'll want to add a transaction for those outstanding checks.
Okay.
Okay?
That makes sense too.
All right.
Good.
Last is the general ledger. You'll create a journal here with all of your accounts that have a balance with their outstanding balances.
Okay. And I presume then in that journal entry, we would just want to make sure that the AR, the AP, and the cash number matches what we've entered in those other sections. And
Correct.
once that's all reconciled, then...
When that's all reconciled to your existing system, right, you'll just go ahead and post your AR transactions, your AP transactions, your cash book transactions.
Yep.
And then you'll want to go back and reset all those settings that you set, the settings that you took off in AR, the integration back in GL, and then you'll be good to start.
Okay. Perfect.
All right.
Yeah, I think that makes sense.
Just to let you know too that this video can be used to help our customers do this to start. We also have written instructions that they can download as well, so that they can have it both in a written form and as a video.
Right. Good.
Okay.
Okay, perfect.
Do you have any other questions?
No, I think that was a good explanation.
Well, thank you.
All right, thank you.
And thank you for joining us for another episode of EPMS Tech Talk. I'm Joanne LaFlamme.
I'm Chris Costa.
Please look forward for more to come.